The name Capricorn Clark may not ring a bell for most, but in Sean Diddy Combs' world, she was once a trusted insider. As Diddy's personal assistant, Clark managed his schedule, communications, and daily demands, giving her a front-row seat to his private and professional life. Now, she's in a federal courtroom, not as an ally, but as a key witness against her former boss. On May 28, 2025, Capricorn Clark is testifying under oath in a high-stakes federal case against Sean Combs. The allegations are serious, far beyond a simple workplace dispute. Clark claims first-hand knowledge of disturbing events that could change how the world sees Diddy. Her courage to testify against such a powerful figure is remarkable. As an assistant, she wasn't just running errands. She was embedded in Diddy's world, privy to its secrets. Prosecutors believe her testimony could expose the dark side of that world. The details she provides may be crucial for the prosecution. Many are watching to see how her words will impact the case. Testifying against a former boss of Diddy's stature is no small feat. Clark's decision to step forward signals a major development in this legal saga. She's here to speak her truth, as she remembers it. The world is listening closely. Her words could have far-reaching consequences, not just for Diddy, but for the entire entertainment industry. This is more than a personal story. It's a moment that could prompt a reckoning about power and accountability. The stakes are high, and Clark's testimony could be a turning point. All eyes are on the courtroom as her story unfolds. The drama unfolds in Manhattan Federal Court, a venue known for high-profile cases. The atmosphere is tense. Reporters pack the benches, lawyers strategize, and the judge commands attention. Sean Diddy Combs faces grave federal charges: racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution. These are not minor allegations. Conviction could mean decades in prison. The prosecution aims to prove a pattern of criminal behavior, painting a stark contrast to Diddy's public image as a music mogul. The public struggles to reconcile the charismatic entrepreneur with the man now accused of serious crimes. This trial is about more than one celebrity. It's about power, accountability, and alleged abuse. The outcome will send ripples through the industry. Prosecutors have spent years building their case, gathering evidence and witness testimony. Capricorn Clark's account is a critical piece of their puzzle. Her first-hand perspective is intended to corroborate the charges and reveal the inner workings of Diddy's circle. The defense will challenge her credibility and offer alternative explanations. This is the adversarial system at work. The trial promises to be long, complex, and closely watched. Every word in court could tip the scales. The stakes for all involved could not be higher. When Capricorn Clark took the stand, the courtroom fell silent. She began by describing her daily life as Diddy's assistant, but quickly revealed a world of control and fear. Clark alleged that Diddy's demands crossed legal and ethical lines, creating an environment where compliance was expected, no matter the cost. Her testimony focused on manipulation and coercion, describing how Diddy allegedly used his power to control those around him. She spoke of blurred boundaries between professional and personal, legal and illegal. The jury listened intently as she recounted specific incidents, providing dates and details. These specifics are vital for the prosecution, aiming to show her claims are credible and not just vague accusations. Clark's composure on the stand belied the difficulty of reliving these events. She established her proximity to Diddy and the trust that was allegedly broken. Her testimony laid the groundwork for more shocking revelations to come. The courtroom was filled with anticipation for what she would say next. This is not just about Diddy. It's about alleged victims and a system that may have enabled abuse. Clark's words are a stark reminder of the responsibilities that come with power. Her testimony could reshape the narrative around one of music's biggest names. The trial's outcome may hinge on her credibility. One of the most chilling parts of Clark's testimony involved direct threats from Diddy. She claimed he made explicit threats to ensure her silence and compliance. These weren't isolated incidents, but part of a pattern of intimidation. Clark recounted specific moments when Diddy allegedly warned her about the consequences of disobedience. The threats were vague enough to deny, but clear enough to instill fear. Prosecutors used this to establish a pattern of coercive control. Diddy allegedly used fear to manage his associates. Clark described the psychological toll, living in constant anxiety, worried for her safety and future. Her testimony humanizes the experience of being subjected to such intimidation. She detailed how threats were sometimes tied to questionable or illegal tasks. When she hesitated, the threats escalated. This paints a picture of an employer who would stop at nothing to get what he wanted. The prosecution argues this behavior is central to the racketeering charges. Clark's account is a stark reminder of the dark side of fame and power. The jury must now weigh the impact of these alleged threats. Clark also testified about being forced to take lie detector tests by Diddy. She described these tests as coercive, not voluntary, used whenever Diddy suspected leaks or disloyalty. The pressure and anxiety were immense, with the tests designed to intimidate and control. According to Clark, these ordeals were about maintaining absolute loyalty and rooting out perceived threats. She and others were subjected to these tests with little warning, facing intrusive questions. The threat of failing or appearing uncooperative hung over her constantly. This created an environment of distrust and paranoia within Diddy's inner circle. The prosecution argues these forced tests are further evidence of a criminal enterprise built on intimidation. For the jury, it paints a picture of a man obsessed with secrecy and control. Clark's account offers a chilling glimpse into the alleged methods used to maintain Diddy's empire. The glamorous public image stands in stark contrast to the fear she describes. Her testimony adds another layer to the prosecution's case. The atmosphere of fear was pervasive. The most shocking part of Clark's testimony involved an alleged plot against musician Kid Cudi. She claimed Diddy orchestrated a plan to harm Kid Cudi's property, specifically his car, and wanted her involved. This wasn't a business dispute, it was a premeditated criminal act, according to Clark. She testified that she was deeply uncomfortable and tried to avoid involvement, but Diddy was insistent. Clark described feeling trapped, unable to extricate herself from the situation. The prosecution presents this as evidence of Diddy's willingness to use others to commit crimes. Clark said Diddy wanted Kid Cudi's car targeted, possibly destroyed, hinting at deep animosity. If proven, this incident would show a vindictive side to Diddy, far from his public persona. The courtroom listened closely as she recounted these events. This testimony is crucial. It involves a specific alleged criminal act against another celebrity. Clark's reluctance and alleged forced involvement are key. The prosecution argues this shows Diddy masterminding criminal activity and coercing employees. The Kid Cudi allegation adds a significant charge to Diddy's case. The stakes in court just got even higher. According to Clark, when she resisted the plan against Kid Cudi, Diddy's response escalated. She testified that he threatened her at gunpoint, forcing her to participate. This is a terrifying accusation, being threatened with a deadly weapon by your employer. Clark described the moment Diddy allegedly brandished a firearm, making it clear she had no choice. Her safety, even her life, was at stake. Under this alleged duress, Clark said she was forced to play a role in the plan targeting Kid Cudi's car. She emphasized that her actions were driven by fear for her life. This testimony is critical for the prosecution, showing the extreme measures Diddy allegedly used to control associates. It could implicate him in additional crimes, such as kidnapping or false imprisonment. The emotional toll was evident as Clark recounted the ordeal. Her account of the gunpoint threat is likely to be a focal point of the trial. The defense will challenge her story, but if the jury believes her, it's devastating for Diddy. It paints a picture of a man allegedly capable of violent coercion. The trial's outcome may hinge on whether the jury finds her credible. This is a defining moment in the case. The world is watching. Clark's testimony is just one part of a sweeping federal case against Diddy. He faces charges of racketeering, sex trafficking, and transportation for prostitution, alleging a long-standing criminal enterprise. Racketeering suggests prosecutors believe Diddy ran an organization engaged in ongoing illegal acts. The sex trafficking allegations accuse him of coercing individuals into commercial sex acts. Transportation for prostitution alleges he moved people across state lines for illegal purposes. These are not victimless crimes. They represent a profound abuse of power and trust. Diddy built an image as a cultural icon, but if these allegations are true, that image is shattered. The case seeks to hold a powerful figure accountable for serious harm. The federal government brings such charges only after extensive investigation. Clark's testimony is one piece. Prosecutors will present more witnesses and evidence. The defense will argue Diddy's innocence, but the legal battle is formidable. The outcome will have lasting implications for celebrity and accountability. The world is watching to see justice pursued. As Clark's testimony continues, the courtroom remains under intense scrutiny. The judge ensures a fair trial while the jury bears the weight of evaluating the evidence. Public and media attention is relentless, but the legal process must remain impartial. The prosecution will call more witnesses, former employees, alleged victims, and insiders. Each will add to the complex puzzle the prosecution is building. The defense will cross-examine rigorously, seeking inconsistencies and challenging credibility. After the prosecution's case, the defense will have its turn, possibly calling their own witnesses or arguing the prosecution hasn't met its burden. Sean Combs may or may not testify. That decision will be pivotal. The trial is expected to be lengthy, with many days of testimony and legal arguments ahead. The significance of this case cannot be overstated. It's a landmark for the music industry and for accountability. Regardless of the verdict, the allegations have already sent shockwaves. If convicted, Diddy faces the possibility of life in prison. If acquitted, questions will linger. The world will keep watching as this story unfolds.